Exchange administrator, SharePoint administrator, user administrator, password administrator, and so on and so forth. But this one is resource-based roles, including owner, contributor, reader. So owner, contributor, reader are common for all the resources, but others are specific for the resource. Now, in this case, I'm using the subscription. So I'm going to select a contributor. Okay, I'm going to go next. And then I'm going to select members. I'm going to say Sampath Gunawardana. I'm going to select and provide access as a contributor to the subscription, right? Now, Sampath is a global administrator, but he didn't have access to subscription, right? He didn't have permission to use subscription. Because of that, he was not be able to, he was not able to create resources. Now, let's go back to Sampath's login now. I'm going to refresh the page, right? I'm going to refresh it. Once you refresh it, now Sampath can create a virtual machine. So here you see Sampath can create a virtual machine because the reason is now he has access to the subscription. All right. I hope you understand. The next question is now let's say now Sampath wants to provide access to, let's say, our some other user to access the subscription. So let's say how it works. I'm going to search for subscription. And then I'm going to select the subscription. And then I'm going to go into the same option to assign permission to Niranjan, for example. I'm going to click on this. Now you notice these options are disabled. Why is that? So now we notice that Sampath can use this subscription to create resources, but he will not be able to assign permission to the resources. Why? The reason is, guys, our role assignment is limited to the contributor, right? So Sampath Gunawardana is a contributor. And if you notice, there are a number of other options out there. Let me just remove Sampath Gunawardana from here, contributor, right? And I'm going to refresh it. And then I'm going to add Sampath again to owner, right? So the difference between contributor and owner, only difference is owner will be able to assign permission to others, contributor will not. But other than that, owner and contributor both can use the subscription or the resource the way they want to. The reader only will be given read access, but if you want to provide more specific access, you can configure using those. All right. So now what we will do is I'm going to select owner. Now I'm going to provide access to Sampath as a owner, right? And then I'm going to create this one. Now he's a owner. Now, when this assignment is completed, now Sampath can assign even permission, or even he can, assign permission to others. For example, if I go to role assignments, still it is not updated, it seems. Yeah, I'm going to refresh the whole thing. Yeah, now you would see Sampath is a owner. Now, if I want to add, now you would see it'll take some time to refresh the whole thing, especially when you change I have noticed this one, contributor to user. So it will be removed after some time. Let me just log off from this and log back. So it will fix it. Okay. So I think you understand this one. I'm going to access Sampath again. Yeah, you would see now I can assign the disabled part is gone. All right. So now let's go to Sampath's user. I'm going to go to Azure Active Directory. I'm going to search for the user. And here you would see assigned role to Sampath is global administrator now. So he's a global administrator, that is identity access. And also Azure role assignments, he is a owner uh, for this particular subscription. So here you see he is owner for this subscription, right? So is it confusing? Is it confusing? So anybody has any questions? So as I said before, role-based access control, there are identity-based access control, I mean identity system-based control, and mainly in Azure, we need to provide configuration. Especially we discuss a concept called least permission policy. We need to configure using Azure role assignments. So Azure roles are available in all the resources that we create, and subscription level, resource group level, and resource level. So let me just go to resource groups now. So I think most of you have heard about, or they're using resource groups. Resource group is a logical, I mean, the container, virtual container to keep and manage all the resources. I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to select the subscription, and then I'm going to specify resource group is AC500. Then it's easy to remember, right? So it's nothing but the management container. Now, whenever you create any resource in Azure, it's always good to create a, keep it, you can use a resource group, then it's easy to manage. Why it is easy to manage? Because you can configure these. Now, let's say you are working on a certain specific, project, right? And then the people with uh, required permission can edit, remove, change your configurations. You don't want to do that, right? So then what you can do is, I'm going to go to AZ900 for an example. And then here you can configure. So this is my resource group. I can configure resource logs, right? Resource logs meaning, let's say I'm going to click on that. There are two types of logs, delete logs and read-only logs. Let's say do not delete. And then I'm going to say do not delete. So when you do that, what will happen is no one will be able to delete this resource group while the lock is on, right? For example, let's go to overview. I'm going to copy this name here and I'm going to delete resource group now, like this, apply force delete, click on delete, it will generate the error because the reason is there is a resource lock. Okay, it's a good idea. It's a really good to keep this kind of lock. And also you can create another lock called read only. So the delete lock will prevent or protect others deleting your resources accidentally or intentionally. And the read only lock will protect your resources being modified. So once you create read only lock, no one will be able to make changes or modification for the resources.